Okay. Hey, I unmuted you guys. Okay, guys, so I am super, super excited to do this Zoom with you all tonight. Not everybody on here is on my downline or on my team, so I am super pumped for you guys to hear from Shawna and Chad. They have just absolutely blown my mind in the last 14 days, and I want you guys to get to know them and hear some tips and tricks from them and just kind of hear their story and their journey, because it's different than a lot of the stories that I feel like we highlight in this business, and they deserve to be highlighted. So I want you guys to hear it, and I think that you're going to be so inspired by them. So Chad and Shawna, I'm so pumped for you guys to be on here tonight. I'm so proud of you. And I just want you guys to tell us who you are, where you're from, and share how long you've been in the business.
Go ahead, you can start.
Okay, so we live in Claremont, Florida, so right outside of Orlando. We've been here for 9 years, and we have been in the business for 4 years. 4. So
I love it. I think it's amazing.
Awesome.
It's even more amazing when you hear the background of it and where you're at now. So what made you guys get started 4 years ago?
Me?
All her. All her.
all me 4 years ago. So I was introduced to It Works from a friend that I worked with at ORMC, which was the hospital in Orlando that I worked at. And she told me about it. She gave me a sample of greens. Of course, I tried it. I researched the company, and I was never a loyal customer from the moment that she gave me the product and I researched the company and looked at everything they had to offer. I knew that when I signed up, I was going to sign up as a distributor and not a loyal customer. So I did it. He actually didn't know that I did it because his background and what he does, being a natural pro bodybuilder, I knew that it was going to be a tough sell for me to get supplements approved in this house. So I ordered some products and got them started, and he researched them. He looked at the labels. He looked at the ingredients. He was impressed, and they were approved. So once they were approved, he started taking them also, and I had some loyal customers. I signed up loyal customers, and that was about it. I didn't have any distributors I think I had one other than Chad, and she never really did anything, and I had my loyal customers, and that was it. So that was it.
Well, and so I went back and looked. So you signed up October 24th, 2014. And the girl you signed with is somebody that I brought into the business. She is the nurse. I don't know if we even know this story, that Jen oriented me to be a brand new nurse as a graduate nurse. And
I didn't know she oriented you. I knew she knew you.
Yeah,
but I never knew you. So
yeah, we never knew each other. And
right.
So, but yeah, Jen is who oriented me to be a graduate nurse. And so Jen signed up, and Jen signed you up. But then Jen never really did much with the business, or never really worked the business. Mm-hmm. So long story short, Shawna's enroller ended up quitting the business. And I feel like there's so many people that can use that as their excuse in this business, as my enroller quit. But the really cool story about these two is their enroller quit, and I didn't know who they were. You guys, I didn't know who they were until 2 weeks ago today. Like, this is crazy. They've been in the business for 4 years, but your team, at an ambassador, your team gets so big, and they were enrolling some people here and there as customers. But what really stood out is 2 weeks ago today, I looked in my downline activity and I saw Chad's name. And I was like, I don't know who that is. And I looked at his ID number, and it started with a 5. And if you guys know, like when you sign up new distributors now, or maybe some of you guys are newer, your ID starts with a 1, because we're that much further into ID numbers now. So I knew looking at his ID number that he was not a new distributor. So it's so crazy. I looked, I saw he had enrolled on 3/10/2015 and had signed a customer. And I was like, I need to figure out who this is. So I went and looked at his Facebook profile, and there wasn't really, I scrolled back a little bit and I found a couple It Works posts, but he had a link to his Instagram. And I clicked on his Instagram, and the first thing I saw is he's got 10,000 followers on Instagram. I was like, oh my God. And so then I scrolled down and I saw some really good It Works pictures. Like, he was a good poster. And so I reached out to them, and you guys, what's happened in the last 2 weeks?
What?
I don't know.
it's been
first off, you
really
guys, they weren't even plugged into a team page. They weren't
No.
on a team page. No connections but themselves to each other. They had no It Works connections. And so they got plugged into a team page. They got plugged into a chat that I run. And then what happened?
Well, before that, whenever you first messaged me, I didn't know who you were either. I mean, I've heard Shawna speak of your name, but I didn't know who you were. And you were saying, hey, this is, I've seen you come up in my reports, and I just want to know if I could help you. Well, I kind of unleashed on you, I think, at the time. I just kind of let it out there how I was feeling about it, because, I've always used the supplements. Since Shawna got started 4 years. Simply because the supplements work. So I'm going to kind of read you the message I sent to you so everybody can understand, where I was feeling at this time.
Okay.
So you asked me, hey, I seen that you enrolled a couple of people. And usually the way that I work the business at all, I didn't work the business, but what I would do is my clients that was going to go into competitions, I knew that the wraps worked. I knew that Thermophyte worked. I knew that New You worked. So I put every single one of my competitive clients on that because I use it going to my competitions. I know that they work, so I'm going to put my competitors in it as well. So I messaged you back. I said, hello. I said, yes, I've enrolled several people. I am a respiratory therapist, and I'm a personal trainer. I obtained my pro card in natural bodybuilding 5 years ago. Most of the people I've enrolled are my personal training clients or planning to do bodybuilding or figure shows. I had every client, including myself, use It Works Thermophyte, New You, and wraps while prepping for competitions. Other than that, here's where it gets good. Other than that, I have struggled quite a bit on expanding my It Works business. I usually end up very frustrated. I am not a great salesman. I know the product should sell themselves, but it's hard for me to convince someone to try them without seeming gimmicky. I have tried several different approaches in growing the business as well. For example, I have 10,000 followers on Instagram, and I've tried posting about It Works numerous times, and every time I post, I lose hundreds of followers. I use Instagram mainly for my fitness education and to draw sponsors to me, so losing hundreds of followers is very counterproductive in the realm of the sponsor's eyes. I would love to grow my It Works business, but it just seems like I can't get it going. My wife and I have used It Works for years. I actually love the products and what the company stands for. In fact, because I like the product so much, the main reason I became a distributor. I'm not giving up on It Works because it will always be products that I use. I have read many articles, books, and watched videos on sales tactics on how to grow my business, but I can't find anything that has worked for me. Not sure what I was doing wrong, not sure what I've done wrong, but it just does not, it seems so easy for some people and so hard for me. I'm just very frustrated. Thanks for reaching out to me. I will take any suggestions that you have.
So I'm going to stop you for a second because then I was like, okay, I'm slightly intimidated because I treat a lot of women in this business, and I'm like, he's got a healthcare background, he's got a fitness background, and he's a man. So I was slightly intimidated of how do I respond to this? And so I actually took his message and screenshotted it and went to the ambassador page, which is only ambassadors on it, and I tagged a couple of men. Joel Dunn, who else? Chad Caneller, I don't remember who else. I tagged a couple of men, and I was like, help. And then Eli Marshall is a presidential, and I direct messaged him too because they're very, very big into fitness competitions. And I was like, how do I respond to this guy? And their responses that they gave me that I was able to screenshot back to Chad, I think were the light bulb moment. And I don't know if you want to kind of share what made their responses the light bulb moment, but it was I was overthinking it on how to respond to him. And I was trying to think like, okay, I've got to give him a fitness answer. Like, how can I tell him a fitness answer when his answer was the exact same that I would give any woman, I would give any distributor. And so what changed?
Okay, so, well, first of all, you hit the nail right on the head right there, because you said you know how to handle women. Mm-hmm. And for me, I had in the back of my head that this was a business for women. Mm-hmm. It's wraps. Women, even though I use wraps, men don't use wraps, or they don't preach.
They don't advertise it.
They don't admit that they use wraps.
Yeah, and then
your closet wrappers.
Then you have closet wrappers. So then you have skin products. You know, no man's going to tell you. Yeah. So in my mind, I was thinking, okay, this is so easy for women, because women can go up to any woman. If a man goes up to a woman and say, "Hey, try this wrap," the woman's going to say, "You saying I'm fat?" If a woman goes up to a woman, "Hey, try this wrap." Okay, thanks. You know, so that was the first thing that I had to overcome, was thinking that this was just for women. Mm-hmm. So when you reached out to me and then you started getting a hold of all these top ranked people, that's men, that was my first light bulb. That was my first aha. Okay, something's here. Then Eli Marshall, the message you sent me, that was huge. And basically he said, you know, I see a couple things with this guy. You know, he's got a great following. He obviously loves the products. He's been using them for a long time. But he says on down in his post here, or his message here, that he's read very many books, articles, and watched videos over sales tactics. And he said, this guy needs to know that we are not in the sales industry. We're in the sharing industry. He said he is trying to sell the product instead of sharing the product. And when he learns how to share the product, it will not change for him until he learns how to share this. So that was my holy moly. This whole time I've been pushing product. I've been trying to push the product. And every time I try to push the product, you know, I was trying way too hard. And then once I started backing off instead of pushing and trying to sell product, I was just sharing what I used and sharing what I knew worked. The floodgates opened up, kind of. And then the third thing was that I was scared to death that my Instagram was going to fall, because I was using that, you know, to draw sponsors in, and I had 10,000 followers. So all of that is fitness education, you know, and physique pics and stuff like that. So that's how I built my Instagram. And I was scared to death that was going to drop. And I was scared to death that I was going to not capture the sponsor's eyes. So another top ranked guy messaged you, and he said, first off, don't sell it, share it. But he says, who cares if you lose some Instagram followers? You're just narrowing down your potentials list. There's no point of having 10,000 followers if they're not doing anything for you. And I was thinking, okay, so I had 10,000 followers, but he's right. What has these 10,000 followers ever done for me? And so I'm still working on that point now about how to post and how to, because your post is awesome. I must tell you. I'm looking at your post, and your post is so inspiring, and you'll see a lot of things through that message that I said was a lot of not, can't, won't, struggled, frustrated, you know. And I read one of your posts one day, and it says, turn the negatives into positives. Use cans, wheels. And it's so funny because all of my competitive clients, I teach that from day one. I teach every day one. I say, because when you're going through a prepping process, going into a competition, it's very hard. And mentally, it's draining. And your mind's always going to tell you you're not ready or you can't do it. Mm-hmm. I tell all my clients all the time, turn those negatives into positives. And what I realized at that point was that I was teaching it, but I wasn't applying it.
Well, you were applying it in every other aspect of life, but he was not applying it in this business, but every other aspect of life.
Yeah. So those were the key things that kind of opened my eyes. And ever since I opened my eyes, it's just like, it's a whole new world, because now I see potentials everywhere.
Yeah.
I see potentials everywhere. I mean, because
like at 6:15 in the morning when you walk into work.
Yes. Good morning. He sent me that good morning, 6:31. I was like, I'm not even awake. I've already got a loyal. I'm like, I would tell you to be like, go away. I do not want your stuff. It's 6:30 in the morning.
well, the thing that was missing, though, was that I was trying to sell product to people that wasn't even asking about product. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, when I'm in the gym, I'm a pro natural bodybuilder. I'm a personal trainer. Every single day, I go to the gym, somebody asks me, what kind of supplements do you use? What kind of supplements should I use? I have fallen completely on that for 4 years. Yeah. I would always say, I would go to Vitamin Shop, get some protein, get some creatine. Never once thought about it works, even though that's the stuff that I use.
Because he would verbalize and had this whole time, because he wasn't really ever interested in the business in the beginning. In the very beginning, he was just too busy. And he would say, I'm not a salesperson. Mm-hmm. I'm not a salesperson. I don't like pushy people. I don't want to harass people. And now I'm like, but they ask you, what do you take? You look like that. You're doing something right. Like, what are you on? You should just.
I'm going to lie to you about what I'm taking because I don't want to sell anything to you.
Exactly. So I'm like, just tell them what you take and say, I know, this is awesome. I've been using it for 4 years. And truly, that's what has happened. So all of those Instagram people and all of these clients and friends and people he works with, it's still coming up in conversation. Often. And so he's just been like, well, I use these at work supplements and I've been using them for 4 years and all my competitive clients use them and you get great results. And, I would say you need to do New You. You need to do ThermoFit. Well, sorry, ThermoFight, because it was ThermoFit a long time. And then you need to do this, or you should try wraps, or, now it's just like, I can't stop him.
So from 2 weeks ago today, they went from no distributors on their team to being overboxed for Ruby. They've got 7 distributors now, 12 customers. They've increased their volume by 1,300 BV. I went back and looked at some of your BVs over the last couple of years. I think the highest BV you've ever had was 188 BV. And now you guys are at like...
And 80 something of that was our ownership.
Yeah, and now you're at over 1,400 BV on the 18th of the month. So, it's just insane. So, for people that feel like they're stuck, maybe they've been in for 4 years, maybe they've been in for, 30 days. What advice could you give them on just catching the momentum and running with it?
I would say never give up. If God has placed a desire in your heart for anything, one of the desires that Chad has always had, and I have been forcing him for years to pursue, was that he should be doing fitness training for his full-time career. And fear takes away everything from you. It steals everything if you let it. And there are so many things in our life that we haven't let that happen, but the business was one. I can tell you, fear of what people were going to think or what they were going to say if you offered them a product. But for Chad to change from a stable medical job to go just, like he would say back in the day, on a whim, just to go chase a hobby of mine, that's crazy. Like that, what if I can't provide for my family? What's going to happen? Fear. You have to get over fear. You cannot give up if God has placed that dream in your heart. And the fitness thing he's now pursuing, he's transitioning. He's part-time in the hospital. His personal training business and the It Works business now in the last 14 days they've both grown exponentially. And I honestly believe that blessings follow obedience. And I feel like God has also been pushing him to get out of his hospital job. Not that he's not good at it, but that's not his calling. And now that he's finally been obedient to that, he has blessed that. And he has opened doors that we didn't even see, which one of them was this business that he can utilize for a blessing to us for just being obedient. And he knows the desires of our heart and what we wanted to do. And I can tell you, when I signed up as a distributor in my kitchen, I knew that day. That's why I said I was never a loyal customer. I knew this company was something special. I knew their products were just amazing because I listened to this and talk about all the protein spiking, and there's so much fillers and everything. And I wish I could make all of my own product line. And when he approved those products, and I knew the business was Christian-based, and I knew they were a debt-free company, which is something that has been a mission of ours for the last approximately 10 years, I knew right then and there. Did I think it was going to be a 4-year thing before we went anywhere? No. But if that was his purpose and his plan, it's his time, and it hasn't been our time. But you reached out to us on April 3rd. We spoke to you on April 4th, and we're sitting here, and it is April 18th, and there is nothing I can say other than God. Mm-hmm. That's it. We pray.
Total goosebumps.
Yeah, we pray about everything, and we have prayed about this.
Oh, I love it.
That's from our church. We pray about everything. We pray for guidance and direction for every decision that we make. And I honestly believe that this is something that he is just going to shine through, because it's not us. We're just, our pastor can give some incredible messages. And I also have to say the word surrender. You have to surrender yourself and your ideas sometimes and let things go, because and Pam just did this talk the other day, and I was just like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You have to sometimes just let things go, because like she said, when you try to hang on, it's not working because you're trying to control it. And our pastor gave a sermon that I almost had to physically get up and leave, because he said, God will figure it out. You do not have to figure it out. You don't know how you're going to do it. You don't have to know what it's going to look like, how long it's going to take to get there. God is a GPS. He will tell you, turn right now. You turn right. Then he'll tell you the next step. He's not going to show you the destination. That's not any fun, right? He wants to see if you're faithful and if you're obedient, and if he gives you one step at a time. And we have prayed and prayed, and we prayed 16 days ago, specifically about 3 things. One of them being, do we need to pursue this business to help him expedite coming out of the hospital? And 2 days later, you reached out to us, and 14 days later, we are here. He is telling us the GPS, turn right. We are only doing one step at a time. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know where we're going, but all I know is that we're going. If he says turn left, we're turning left. If he says go make a U-turn, we'll make a U-turn. We will do whatever the GPS says. And that's the way that we live. So
one of the other things also is, guys, if you're not plugged into a team chat, get plugged in. That is huge, because I have learned so much about business when I didn't know anything about the business before. Just reading through team chat has been huge. I mean, that is a huge help. And the support you get on team chats is crucial for this, because those times when you're feeling like you're struggling, you haven't had a loyal customer in a couple of days or whatever, everybody's in the same boat on those chats, and that is a huge thing. And kudos for the team chat that I'm on, because man, you guys rock it.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
That's something that I did from the time I started the business all the way up until I went triple diamond. And then the team chat, eventually chats will only let you have so many people in them. So then I was like, I couldn't add any more people. So I just quit doing a team chat. And I literally did not do a team chat for probably 2.5 years. And that is my biggest regret. When I started doing that again, it just builds camaraderie. It's a family. It's a support system. I told some of my other friends who are leaders that don't do team chats, I'm like, you guys, you're missing out, because sometimes it can be chaos and it can be intense, and you get to your messages and you're like, oh my gosh, I've missed 100.
I'm so lost because I've missed 4 hours and I don't know what's going on.
I've been gone for an hour and now I know everything about everybody's life. But it was so cool at conference. I ended up having, I think, 7 girls stay together in a hotel, and not a single one of them knew each other outside of that chat. And they laughed together and they cried together, and it's family. And so, if you guys outside of, my team don't have a team chat or whatever, talk to your leaders or start one your own and just create that and have people add people to it. And just don't go a day without talking. I had team chats that have kind of died off, and then sometimes I'll be like, okay, we're making a new team chat. Who wants to go with us? Because that momentum and excitement, like when it's there, it's people on our team chat have been excited to watch what's happened with these two. And they're just as equally excited to see other people having things happen. And so it creates that momentum and excitement. So I 100% will forever always do team chats now for that reason.
I agree. It's been a great, just having the support. Now, I will say that even though I did not know you, I was your friend on Facebook even before, the enrollers, all of the enrollers that were above us. So when I would reach out to you in a message, you would always reply and give me the answer. But yeah, there was no local leadership at all for us. There was no team. There was nothing. We were kind of just isolated out here on an island. But since you have reached out to us, the amount of support and encouragement and excitement from all of the things that you've provided have been incredible. Like, it has changed so much.
I'm so proud of you guys. Okay, so what are your goals now? Where are you going?
We're going up.
We're going up.
The sky's the limit.
Okay, first off, they are 41 BV, I think, from going executive on the 18th of the month. Yeah. But they're not stopping there either. So
no, we're not stopping, because we already have people moved and shuffled on purpose for not doing that 41, because that 41 is going to happen. It's just, So yeah, we are going for it. We are.
Yeah. One of my competitors, Lana McCullough, she posts this a lot, and I love it. And she always says, I haven't come this far to just come this far. So that's great.
I mean,
I'm living by that.
Can I say something honestly?
Yeah.
So all this was happening, and I know prayer changes things, and I know that we do things, and I get it. But when you posted on Facebook and you tagged Mark Pentecost, I was like, we were driving, and I said, Chad, she just posted the CEO of the company with our names attached to it. That means we can't not do something. Do you know what this means? Like, she does this, and she has seen so many people in this business, and she believes in us enough to tag us with his name. And now you've done it twice, and I'm like, and then that you asked about an interview, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got this, because we'll do whatever, but you got to drive it, because we don't know. So he's doing it, and we're just driving.
I love it.
I pray every single day, every single night. Lord, you provide us the people who need to change their life, their health, their weight, their finances, their anything. People that are willing to be loyal customers, because we have to have the volume. People who are willing to join us because they want something else on the side as a side job, or they want to replace an income. I don't care who they are. You just send them. You send them to us, and we will do the work. We're not afraid of work. We've worked our entire lives for our degrees, our careers, our child, everything. We will do the work, but you have to send the people. Mm-hmm. And he's sending the people. So
So are you guys mostly, I know people probably, and if you guys have questions, you can type them in the chat and I'll ask too, but are you guys mostly doing this face-to-face? Are you doing it through social media? Are you messaging people?
I haven't even tapped into my social media yet. I've done all of this face-to-face, and it's just
at work with clients, and some of the people, like what we were saying, seeds that have been planted for 4 years.
Yep.
So some of those people who have joined us, actually, let's just be honest. We talked about this being the female-driven type business. Chad only has 2 female distributors.
Mm-hmm.
Our rest are all men.
Which is amazing.
So you're talking about seeds. Those people have been with him on Instagram for the last 4 years and have watched all of this happen. So that really is the only social media aspect. The rest of them have been from work and face-to-face, literally. Haven't tapped into.
I haven't even started on Instagram yet. I have done a couple of posts, but I'm trying to figure out how to go about that.
We need to get some finesse on the posting.
Because I feel that being in person, it's personal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people can see your expression.
Yep.
You know, while you're trying to direct message somebody on Instagram and trying to explain your expression, you don't have to explain. It takes so much of their time up by trying to explain everything when they see it in your face. So for me, the person-to-person has been the way to go so far. And it's crazy because I don't know why, but all my conversations end up being in nutrition and supplementation. I think it's just the way my mind is geared anyway, because I'm a personal trainer and I'm a bodybuilder and stuff. So I think it's the way my mind is geared. So usually that's just the way my conversations end up, no matter who I'm talking to. And that's just that's just an easy segue right into the It Works products and what I use. Someone was telling me at work today, they're telling me, we were talking for a while, and she said, I'm so tired all the time. I was like, oh, really? What's going on?
Perfect.
What's going on with you? I mean, why are you tired? She said, well, I have some thyroid issues, and they don't have my medicine correct in my thyroid issues. I was like, well, what kind of medication are you taking? I'm like, oh, well, I said, how's your metabolism? How everything's going? And she's like, it's horrible. My thyroid's got my metabolism. I said, you should try Thermal Fight. Oh, what's Thermal Fight? Okay, well, let me show you. Boom, loyal customer. Walk in this morning, Chad, how are you losing weight? Chad, you're losing weight. And I was like, I'm cutting right now. They said, well, what are you doing? I'm like,
I take this.
I take Thermal Fight. And he's like, what's Thermal Fight? Boom, loyal customer. And I was in the one at 6:30.
Knew you, of course, if you had to ask us a favorite product.
Somebody just asked, what are the main products you mentioned for your clients too?
For my clients, 100% of the time, if my clients is going into competitions, I will put them on Thermal Fight for sure. Mm-hmm. I'll put them on Fat Fighters for their cheat meal because they're allowed 1 cheat meal a week going into competitions.
Don't tell everybody about all the M&Ms.
I wasn't going to say that. I wasn't going to say that. You brought it up.
Fat Fighters, New You.
Fat Fighter, New You for sure.
And wraps.
Yeah, because when you're prepping for a competition, your testosterone or your hormones get out of balance, out of whack. So New You for sure. And 4 to 8 weeks out from competition, I'll start them on wraps. So those 4 things for sure. Now I've had clients go into greens and stuff like that as far as maintenance and type of stuff like that. But those 4 things for sure: Thermal Fight, New You, wraps, and the Fat Fighters.
I love it. Okay, so somebody was saying, a couple people have actually had a couple suggestions for you with social media. Insta stories are huge right now. I mean, on Insta stories, I've been posting on Insta stories, but I just recently started doing a couple lives, and I had like 900 people watch me make coffee yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, you could just go live and talk about what you're doing, what you take, what you do as a job, about being a fitness trainer and have even your It Works visor on, stuff like that gets conversations going. But I think something else that people like, I said when I messaged you and you messaged me back that whole dissertation, I was like totally overwhelmed.
Sorry.
That's okay. And so I think that, like, I remember signing my chiropractor. My chiropractor lived across the street from us. They were just neighbors. And I was so intimidated when his wife was like, you should talk to Bryce about being a distributor. And I was like, you should talk to Bryce about being a distributor. I'm too scared. And I had been in for like a month. So I ended up giving them I had like made a notebook with all the products and all of the product information in it. I was like, here, take it on vacation with you. But I think sometimes when people have a profession or we're intimidated to talk to them. So even just with athletes in general, maybe not even a personal trainer, like if somebody were to want to talk to like maybe they've got a friend that is really big into bodybuilding, or they've got a friend, like I feel like people are really set in their ways. And I think Shawna said that that's why she was kind of nervous to come home and tell you, wondering what you were going to think about the products. So what would be, you are in that position, so you have a little bit of different rapport, I feel like, with them. But for somebody that doesn't, I mean, how do you approach them? Do you just give them information and let them do their own research? Or
Chad does not let anybody do their own research. He will talk to them for hours about nutrition labels, fillers, preservatives, content. Right,
but for somebody that doesn't have that knowledge themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Because that can be intimidating.
Yes.
It can be very intimidating. But here's the thing: if you know the products,
if you know it works for you,
and you know, and you're true and you're honest with them, they're gonna see that. Because that's the only thing that I'm doing with people that I'm talking to right now. I may not have to go into huge detail about what everything does or anything, but I mean, somebody tells me that, hey, I gained weight, I can't lose weight. I know that we have a product that can help you. I mean, you don't have to know all that stuff. You just have to know what the products do.
Yep.
If you don't know what the products do, find out what the products do. I mean, it makes it that much easier, right?
Yep. I love it. Okay. Any last tip? Anything you want to say to close out? If I don't see any other questions in here, everybody is absolutely loving you. You guys are amazing and so inspirational. But if there's any last thing you want to say or anything, you can.
Yeah. Don't give up. I know sometimes it can be a struggle, but just like in life, you cannot give up. You got to keep pushing through. I mean, if we give up on everything, we never go anywhere.
That's right. I love it.
Never give up. I've never given up on this business. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm still kind of in shock about everything. Pray always, never give up, be grateful, speak positive things, not I'll try, I'll maybe, throw them out there. We will, I can tell you, speaking positive, and just like you sent the thing in the thread the other day, you be careful because you're listening.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to pull up.
What you say, be careful because you're listening. And what you speak out into the universe is what you're going to get. Yeah. Like what you said, you're going to get what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. It's exactly. If you're speaking negatives, I can't, I won't, it'll never happen for me. I don't know why I'm still doing this. I mean, do you know how long I could have said, I don't know why I'm still doing this. Mm-hmm. Why am I still doing this? It has been 4 years. I really thought this business was for me and for us because it really went hand in hand, and he approved the products. He took all these products and did a natural competition, which is polygraph and urine drug tested. I can tell you people with confidence, these products have nothing in them that you need to be afraid of. And if you can portray that confidence, which he does to his clients, why would I have given up on something that I knew, but I could have all these 4 years. I could have said, well, I thought this was something, I thought I was supposed to be a part of this business. I don't know. I felt like from 2014 in my gut that this was for us, and the products were excellent. There wasn't anything out there that was better. And I just hung on to that. And there were tons of times I could have said, forget it. It's just not worth it. I can't do this. We're never going to go anywhere. But I never said those things. And now it's finally, the ball is starting to gain some speed. So yeah, he has his timeline and we have ours, and it wasn't time 4 years ago, but I think it's time now. Just don't ever give up. Be grateful. Speak positively. Pray always, and just surrender. Surrender to the things that you cannot control, and surrender to the ultimate plan. And just do the one step at a time. Do what the GPS says, one step at a time, and you don't have to know how you're going to get there or what it's going to look like. Just do it.
You guys are so amazing. I'm so proud of you. I cannot wait to be closer to you all.
I know, you're coming soon.
Very shortly.
We're leaving at 2:00 in the morning to drive to Florida. So I'm so proud of you guys. I am so glad that everybody got to hear your story, because I think your story speaks so much volume, and it's just absolutely incredible. So I know this won't be the last time that they get to hear from you all. So thank you guys so much, and you guys have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.